Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've got an old 026 STIHL chainsaw. It's got issues. It just doesn't feel right when I pull it over. The reason I'm making the video obviously is to give you a diagnosis on this. I want to show you how to get to the diagnosis, but also because I know a lot of you guys that watch videos pick up stuff like this at yard sales, auctions and stuff like that. I think this one may have come from an auction, and when you buy stuff at an auction, sometimes you cannot examine it properly, so this will give you an idea of what you may expect to find if you buy stuff at an auction. Okay, here it is. Doesn't look pretty. This cover won't go back on because somebody put the wrong filter. It's got the wrong back end here. It looks like a cheap Amazon filter. I actually don't recommend these filters here on your saw if it's in good condition. It's pretty dirty. It's been sitting for many years. It looks like it's got a lot of miles. It's got a bar cover here. Let's get this off. The chain doesn't look too bad. Now, usually when you buy used saws like this, that bar and chain are pretty well written off right off the bat, so you can count over $100 for that. If I look underneath, there is substantial wear. But again, this is probably a 30-year-old saw, 026. Great saws, guys. You can actually adjust these saws. They did not have the M-tronic at the time. Now, when I pull the saw over, it doesn't feel quite right. I'm going to tell you that right now. First of all, I will look at what's in the tank. And what's in there looks like STIHL Moto Mix. I can smell it. It's almost empty. So I will just put my pre-mixed gas that I mixed up myself first. I don't like putting True Fuel unless I know something is fixed and leaving the shop to a customer. Now, the thing with these old saws is oftentimes you will have to replace carb kit, fuel line, all the rubber parts. Impulse line is important on these. Now, I'm skipping a few steps here. Typically, what you want to do before you put any gas in a saw is pull it over right off the bat and see what's going on. But for today, I just want to extend the diagnostic process a little bit further, just so that maybe you guys can learn something. So I've got fuel in the tank. I'll just try starting it without putting fuel in the carburetor. If it doesn't start, I'll come back, take the filter off and do that. So let's see what happens. Okay, first thing you want to check is how's the compression feel. So there's something there. It's not that great, but you do hear some noise. I'm going to choke it right up. And it's making a weird noise too. Wow, I didn't think it would run, guys, at all. Now, the reason I didn't think it would start is, first of all, the appearance, you know, it just looked bad. But the compression does not feel good at all, guys. It feels awful. I'm totally shocked it started. It could be why that I had to adjust the carburetor. I had to really turn out the L screw, the low speed screw, to get it to idle properly, to get it to slow down a bit. And then I turned this out but turned it back in. and I turned in the H screw bit to get it to rev properly at high speed. So when you were watching me, I set the H screw throttle wide open till I get the sweet spot, not too lean, and that's how you get it to run good. The low speed screw is important for your idling. It does help to make it idle more steady. Now, if your compression is low on the saw, it will make the carburetor adjustments a little more difficult to do. So I've adjusted it today here when I'm making the video, but if I go to use this saw next week, I may have to adjust it again. What I think's going on is that there's some damage inside the cylinder. Now the saw is still usable a bit. I'm going to sharpen up the chain, put it back on, come back. I'm going to test it in a log outside, and we'll see if there's any power with it. Then I'll do a compression test, take the muffler off to show you what's going on, and then I'll give you my diagnosis after, you know, should we fix it? Should we just kind of use it the way it is or whatever? So I'll be right back with a sharpened chain, and we'll try it out. Okay, here it is. Here's the sprocket. Just thought I'd show it to you. And the reason I'm showing you guys all the problems here is that if you're doing this for a customer like I am here, he's a great guy, that's why I'm doing it, you got to write down all these things. So the sprocket is still good, but it's got some wear. It leaks bar oil like a sieve, which could be the oil line, could be a bunch of other stuff too, oil pump maybe. It's making noise. Compression doesn't feel right. So at this point, I'll just get the bar and chain on and go test it out. Okay, not too bad, but not that great. Okay, so I didn't cut the wood too badly, but it sure does leak a lot of oil. And it does sound even worse after it's ran and it's hot like this. I'll just show you that. Hopefully you can hear all the noises here. That's not normal. And the compression's not that great. So typically when you lift a saw, it should come up with the pull cord like this, but it's not. And if you work on a lot of saws, you can tell right away. Now I want to let it cool down a bit before I do the compression test, but I do want to do one for you guys here. I'll take the cheap air filter off. Now this saw more than likely needs a carburetor kit, but whether it's worth doing will be up to the customer. Get the plug out. While the saw is cooling down, I'm also going to take the muffler off and show you what it looks like in the cylinder. So with my T27 Torx, take the two muffler bolts off. Now it is more ideal to do this when it's cold, and ideally you do this right off the bat when you get a saw from an auction or the side of the road, or from a customer, it doesn't matter. I just kind of did it a little different today. I just basically skipped this part earlier because I just wanted to see if it would start, and it did, and I was surprised. Okay, so you need a lot of light here to see properly. But if we look inside, you can see some scoring on the piston. Right there, you can see it's scuffed up, it's rough. There's a lot of carbon from the past here. This is why it's so easy to pull over, but again, amazing that it ran the way it did. Now, old saws like this, guys, after you use them for a while like this, is you'll have to replace the carb kit for sure. It might run today, but it won't tomorrow. You might have to keep readjusting the carburetor, and more than likely, you will have to replace the crank seals. Now, my advice here is when you have a scored piston like that, and I'm sure it is in the cylinder, personally, I wouldn't pump any money into this. I would use it the way it is until it totally quits. If you can cut 2-3 cords of firewood with it, that's great. And once it quits on you, you've got a lot of parts. You've got a recoil, you've got a carburetor, the barn chain's still good, and there's a lot of other good parts on it. I would never fix this for a customer the way it is with the cylinder, because it's like putting money in a sinking ship. You don't want to be polishing the brass on the Titanic before it sinks. This is a similar analogy. It has similar parallels. You don't want to put all this money in. It's like having an old car. But if you do let it leave your shop the way it is, make sure you tell the customer it's an as-is repair. Some people don't get the concept. They'll take a saw like this and totally forget the conversation. Put it on your invoice. It's an as-is repair. It's got scoring on the piston and the cylinder. And you know, you could change all the seals, carb kit, everything, and it's still not going to run the way it should. Earlier, I had adjusted it in the shop here on the table, and it idled. After I cut a few cookies in the logs there, I sat it down, you saw it, it was revving high like crazy, and I had to come back, and I had to turn out the low speed screw. So that fed it more gas at idle. I was turning out the adjusting screw here, well, not an adjusting screw, but the idle speed screw. And it made no difference. I turned it all the way out and it wasn't slowing down. I had to turn out the L screw to feed it more gas to slow it down. Major problems, guys. Personally, I wouldn't do it. If you have multiple saws like this with good jugs here, the piston, cylinder, and all that stuff, yes, you can make a good one. But this is the heart of your saw. If this has problems, the entire saw will have problems. So what I'll do is let it cool down. I'll come back. We'll do a compression test when it's cold, and we'll see where this is at. All right, so I got my compression tester out. It's a Lang. This is a good tester, by the way. Here's the part number. And there's a lot of adapters with this one. I will grab the one with the short threads, the 14 millimeter. You don't want to use the deep one because it can hit the piston inside there. Just basically screw it in there. The saw has cooled down. Okay, the way I'm going to test the compression is throttle wide open, choke off. Choke is built into the air filter on this one, so it's nice and wide open. Switch off, and you pull it till the needle stops going up on the tester. And I'll leave the camera on the tester here and you'll see. Okay, look at this. Look at this reading. Now that's amazing. If you guys were here and were pulling on this saw, you'd say it's pooched. But I'm going to come back to this because this can be a little bit of a warning when you're buying a used saw. Look at this. We're just at about 150, which is good. It's really good. And you guys have seen the scoring in the cylinder. But let me explain to you guys how deceiving this whole diagnosis here can be. Deceiving for sure. So usually when I make a video like this, if I get a pooched saw in the shop and I pull on it and I'm going to make a video, I pretty well know if I take the muffler off, we're going to see scoring, and I stop there. But today I kept going. I kind of had a feeling it would be scored even though I didn't take the muffler off before the video. But I thought, you know what? Let's start it, see what happens. I was shocked it started, and I'm shocked, really, really shocked at the high compression. Now, what I want to talk about here is you could be looking for a used chainsaw on Facebook or other classifieds. You go to buy it, it starts, it runs, you know, guy does a compression test for you and it's high like that. So you think, wow, great, this is awesome, man. I've got a saw with high compression. But the matter of the fact is when the spark plug's in, it doesn't feel right. If I pull on another saw, the compression is much, much higher, or, you know, feels a lot better. So I've got an Echo here. This is a comparable saw, just a little bit bigger, but it's way harder to pull and it feels much better. You don't hear piston slop in the cylinder when you crank it over. So what I want to tell you guys, if you go to buy a used saw, guys, and it does not feel right like this. So one gauge for this, like I mentioned earlier, if you pick it up by the pull cord and the saw goes down right away, there's an issue with the compression. At first I thought it had a decompressor. There's no decompressor on this one. Look at the Echo here, I can lift it right up. It's taking a while for it to go down. See that? It's going down slow, really slow. Those are basic tests that will let you know if the engine is good, the piston, cylinder, and the rings. I've seen so many of my customers go buy saws like this and they'll tell me, well, you know, the guy started it and it ran. Yes, it did run. It did run, but the matter of the fact is it's on its last leg. It's on its last leg, and you don't want to spend that kind of money. You don't want to pay full price for this. If you get it for 50 bucks or 100 bucks, yeah, that's fine. It probably has a bit of life left. I just spoke to the customer actually about this. We're just going to leave it the way it is because I explained to him exactly what I found. He's going to leave it the way it is, run it till it dies, and then it will be a part saw. We're not even putting in a carb kit or anything else in there. So I'm glad this came up today. I'm glad it was like just totally contradictory, you know, scored piston, but it runs, and it's got a high compression. Just weird, guys. But those things can happen. If you go to buy a saw and you're not sure, take the muffler off and look in there. If it's scored, yeah, you've got big problems, even if it runs. Okay, guys, so be careful with buying used saws like this. I hope the video was really informative for you guys today. Please comment below. Let me know your experiences, whether you're a consumer or run a repair shop. Also, if you're a repair shop, you don't want to waste too much time on these because you can easily lose your shirt and you cannot bill all your hours. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.